just use sketches and maybe do this, do that, and I look at what the sketches that do, and that helps me understand what they are doing. So sometimes I just have to watch, and then once I get the understanding, it sticks. So I just go with that. But it's a new person that I've never met with. Maybe I won't be able to communicate. I just have to talk to people that I'm already familiar with. So because they have a way of talking to me, and that's how I'll be able to understand.
Despite the challenges, the trio has successfully adapted to their roles, developing their own ways to interact with customers and market women. The market women have grown accustomed to communicating with them, sharing insights into their daily interactions.
Sɛ bi omi makɔ school kakra nti no sɛ ɔyɛ sign na mante ase a na watwerɛ wɔ ne ha nti me so no sɛ bibi na sɛ me so meka no ɔnte ase a na me so matwerɛ wɔ ha no nti the moment a mɛhyɛ sɛ metwerɛ apɛ na ɔhu deɛ a mepɛ sɛ meka no.
Me sometimes ebi wɔ ɔmo yɛ a mete sɛ ɛna ɔmo atena akyɛ nti bi wɔ hɔ a ɔmo yɛ a mete aseɛ ɛma wɔm nti bibi wɔ hɔ na sɛ ɔka na ɛnyɛ yi a mente aseɛ ɔbɛtwerɛ wɔ fam na mehu deɛ ɔka nti me nso bibi wɔ hɔ na sɛ me nso mente aseɛ a me nso metwerɛ a na ɔno nso ahu deɛ meka.
Sign language education was first introduced in Ghana in 1957 by expatriate Dr. Foster Andrew. However, it wasn't until much later that further efforts were made to deepen the teaching and learning of sign language within the deaf community to build on Dr. Andrew's pioneering work. "68 years after sign language was introduced in Ghana, its integration into the country's cultural identity remains a slow and ongoing process. The Ghana National Association of the Deaf is advocating for greater inclusivity and acceptance of deaf individuals in Ghanaian society through the promotion and learning of sign language.
We've advocated with different stakeholders, for example, Ministry of Education, the Ghana Health Service, and other big institutions, University of Education, Winneba, UCC, and all that. And the purpose is that we want to have good teachers who can teach kids sign language in the deaf school so that they can grow up and then have access to their education, their healthcare.
My search took me to the Church of Christ in Saum Road at Circle in Accra, which for over 4 decades has incorporated sign language into their service, meeting the spiritual needs of deaf persons.
We walk on tongues to wear the crown. We walk on tongues to wear the crown. That is how Jesus had to bear the thorns in order to attain the crown.
Everywhere you go and you find a deaf interpreter, the linkage is towards the Church of Christ. I think we realized the need that the deaf also needed to hear the word of God and be saved. So we have the deaf church where you go and it is sign language that is used to worship with some interpretation, because some of the times we have people, the hearing as well, joining. The deaf church itself operates on its own, but it's still under the Sound Road Church over here. And there are times that we combine them with the mainstream during worship. So you find them taking a portion in the main auditorium where there's somebody up on the platform as well doing interpretation for them. But generally, they are allowed to worship on their own and worship fluidly. They do Bible classes, they do worship, everything on their own as a deaf congregation.
They even have a deaf preacher.
The deaf are also capable, just as any other person. But people must know that deaf are also skilled in their various professions. And they must also know that deaf are the same as hearing people. That the only problem is that they cannot hear, but everything about a human being is perfect. So what hearing can do, the deaf too can do. So as the deaf ministry here over here, we have for the worship, we have 3 congregations. We have deaf, we have English, and then we have Tree. Okay, so the church actually motivates a lot of people, to win souls for the Lord. That is the grand vision of the church, to win souls for the church. Because we need to win souls for God. Because the deaf must also hear the word. Yeah. So here, we always invite deaf persons to worship with us. And we teach them the word of God and train them and support them. Whatever their needs are, whether they are sick or whatever needs, we support them. And we support their families too.
Every year, the church observes the Deaf Awareness Month as a way of promoting sign language to be embraced by all.
It is a whole month that we dedicate to making awareness, creating awareness not only to members but to the general public about the need to get deaf congregations to be part or identifying the needs of deaf people. So we do that during the distance, and during that period we have the deaf taking leadership roles. We have people coming to talk about deafness and things like that. We've been doing it over the years, and it's been a source of, realization for many. I remember that when we started this things, and the deaf awareness this and it caught up, we even dedicated some time for sign language, short time sign language after service, just 5 minutes. So the general membership of the church is taught simple phrases and sentences like good morning, good afternoon, good evening, God bless you, and things like that. And at least I can say that for those of us who are here, everybody at all can say in quotes, using the sign language, something.
During my days as a parliamentary reporter in Ghana's parliament, I recall when students from the Cape Coast School for the Deaf visited the house to observe proceedings, only to leave early due to the lack of sign language interpreters. However, the then Speaker, Professor Mike Oquaye, responded positively, introducing sign language interpretation in parliamentary proceedings. While commending this milestone, the Ghana National Association of the Deaf's leader believes there is still more work to be done.
When I meet my hearing counterparts, communication becomes a problem to us. And I would like to plead with Parliament to make a policy so that sign language can be taught at the basic school level.
When it comes to the Public Accounts Committee, when they are doing their interviews, I think from 10 p.m., 10 a.m., doing all that. One sad thing is that they always don't provide interpreters. So it means that we are left out. We don't know what is happening. And my understanding is that for the Public Accounts Committee, for the DRC, they have interpreters, they have internal interpreters at Parliament, because we know that they are all parliamentarians. But just that when they are doing, when they are doing their interviews or when they are doing their programs, they leave the sign language aspect out. We want them to involve the interpreters so that we can also follow the conversation and know what is happening, because we are also part of the country. We are also citizens.
For over a decade, The Ghana International School has encouraged the learning of sign language through its Sign Language Club.
What does she spell? Auntie. So that's a sign for auntie. Auntie. Auntie.
I think over the years, as well as the current class who's learning sign language, that just the awareness that different is acceptable and that we need to learn from each other no matter who we are and what are our abilities. The students have a renewed sense of appreciation for difference and living up to our model of understanding of each other.
Remember, in sign language, when it comes to the family or the male and the female, you divide your head into two, the upper part for the male and then the lower part for the female. What did she spell? So that's the sign for sister. We have two signs for it. So either sister or sister.
Recognizing the unique nature of sign language, distinct from spoken language, some learners believe its limited availability hinders progress. To bridge this gap, they have taken it upon themselves to learn sign language.
Well, one time I went out, I met someone who was deaf, and the people there couldn't really sign. So when she found out I could sign, it made her happy and made her know like she was included. So, well, maybe it might happen that in a community someone might be deaf. So if you learn sign language, you're going to be able to communicate with the person to help them feel seen and appreciated.
I love helping people. I want to do behavioral science. So then I felt like sign language would be a good opportunity to communicate and help with people with disability. Sometimes I join my mom on field trips and she interacts with people who are deaf. And now learning it myself will enable me to also learn a new language and also interact with them when we are on field.
I think it will be easier to communicate with deaf people, and for example, if you have a deaf son or a deaf relative, you can communicate to them easily and understand them, and it will be better to be able to sign it yourself than get a translator.
If the rights of deaf persons must be upheld as enshrined by the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons Living with Disabilities, then the introduction of the standardized Ghanaian Sign Language into the school's curriculum is apt to give deaf persons a sense of belonging and reduce isolation.
Learners have challenges. Some of these challenges include their ability to communicate effectively in their sign language. Now, teachers are teaching these learners in sign language, all right, but because of regional barriers, geographical barriers, sometimes you realize that how a particular word is signed in one region is different from, or slightly different from how it is signed in another region. And so the Ministry of Education thought it wise to harmonize a sign language to be used across board. So if you realize that most times, if you go back to our olden days, secondary school learners will be sometimes speaking vernacular, or should I say pidgin. But you realize that these learners have the full command over the English language, which is used academically, in which they are assessed. And so if that person is speaking vernacular, no problem. But if you go to the sign language fraternity, most of them sign wrongly, okay? And the concepts that they sign, that is not what they are going to be used in the classroom academically. So it has become necessary to harmonize the sign language across board so that what they will communicate while they are signing among themselves out of classroom settings, the way they communicate, what they sign, will reflect what is standardized in the academic communication.
New curriculum is at the piloting stage for Kindergarten 1, Class 1 and SHS 1 students.
After that pilot, that will send us a signal as to when the full implementation will take place. Currently, we have come out with
teacher manuals and learner materials with this sign language curriculum from KG1 to SHS3. So once the pilot is tested and accepted, then there will be full rollout. But apart from that, the Constitution, emphasizes this. I think it's Article 24, Clause 3B of the Constitution that stipulates that every child who is deaf or any child who has a disability should be given the right to education. And that education should be inclusive. So talking of inclusive education, you cannot leave out learners who have special needs, such as the deaf learners.
Supported by stakeholders such as TETEL, Ghana Education Service, Ghana National Association for the Deaf, MasterCard Foundation, and others, the plan is to implement this curriculum in mainstream schools in the near future.
I see this as a vision which was seen long ago, and there's time for everything. So now that it has started, I want to encourage every Kenyan who matters in this enterprise to play their role towards the successful implementation of the curriculum and an onward expansion, so that everybody in the Kenyan society will begin to appreciate sign language and its importance in Ghana and elsewhere.
Stakeholders are excited about this.
100%, maybe 105% beyond this, because you see, the moment you, of course, I know in the news, when the news is being read, they are there. I even think that sometimes the cutoff for them is too tiny. You would need good vision to really see this thing. But I think that if something like that has been started, then it is an opener. At least one would say that the government has already realized that. It is just a matter of making sure that it is implemented fully. And so I would support. It should be taught. And listen, they are part of us, and we cannot take them out. And you see, it sort of gives you some confidence. I remember there was a time I met somebody who was deaf, and immediately I was very proud, and I did a few of my signs. I told the person this, and the person was wondering. I said, that's my name. My name is, then I did this, and the person said, you? I said, yes, that's my name. I said, really? And he was very happy. And you see, when they see the hearing, or those of us who are not deaf, trying to communicate to them in their language, they become excited. So they open up, and you find them getting closer to you.
I want to tell people to step out of their comfort zones and to learn sign language, because it's really helpful.
Minyakraka mekwa kosua nti no ese ye nyina yetumi esua ne na omu na di nkomo na bibia ye fine because omu ye nuanom me se bi o mu fi a nke bia ba na nka mesua.
Yes, I would definitely advise and encourage that schools include sign language in their curriculum, because it's very helpful to some people. Some people have family members who are deaf or have other challenges, and this will definitely help them in future, because you don't know who you're going to come across. And the way the world is expanding today, your boss could be deaf, and being able to sign is like one way that puts you up there.
I haven't met any, but I'm sure that if I see someone, I'll be able to at least say like the basic stuff, like the greetings and all.
I also want to help people to be able to learn sign language, so that when like they travel, they'll be able to communicate with like different types of people.
Oh, I know there no sometimes no do a na so okasa na yentia. Ya ono nkasa ha no no hu de onye. Enti say ya kire nkwala no so anka beboa. Ebia na wakohia bi obebi. No wahu sania one ne be kasa. Na mesra awofo no so say sebi. Omo ebi aba omo nchen no e omo fom ko school. No mo sunsua sede ye kasa no. Na we utisa na se wantimi anko school a. Untimi uhu nyonko ane kasa, untimi ne nkasa. By sign no de etimi boa ma wote nyonko ase.
Experts note that many deaf children are either excluded from education or struggle in systems that fail to cater for their needs.
In the Kenyan society, sometimes people even believe that
it's a taboo to see somebody who is deaf and dumb, which is not the case. So there's a need for awareness and sensitization.
I think sign language is powerful for everyone. Research shows that children learn sign language before the age when people typically learn to speak. So a lot of parents around the world who know that start communicating with their children with basic sign to enhance neural development. And I think that's pretty interesting. I think that the people who are, whether they are born deaf or they are have illnesses that then affect their hearing, they are members of our society, and we need to learn to communicate. But bottom line, just to have awareness of each other and our differences is always going to lead to a better society.
This groundbreaking milestone is a powerful testament to the nation's unwavering commitment to upholding the rights and dignity of deaf individuals, ensuring their voices are heard and their concerns are no longer invisible.
Now you do Pierre Kwakan Auditorium for Broadcast Thanksgiving service, please. Now you call Akan Auditorium, please. Let's go. Akan Auditorium. Thanksgiving service for our late sister, please. Odoneye. 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 Odon Chiyame. Oh Chiyame.
Meet Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcaster, and he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, meaning 2 or more in your household, it's 60 CDs per year. For commercial institutions, it's your number of TV sets by 36 CDs per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447*333# and follow the prompt. It's your civic duty, so pay your TV license today. GBC, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Ahenema, meaning children of the king, in Akan, originated as a royal slipper worn by monarchs and their families during grand ceremonies and state functions. The intricate craftsmanship symbolized prestige and power, with designs conveying subtle messages of status. Over time, this royal footwear has become a communal treasure. Today, Ahenema slippers are worn at various occasions, including weddings, funerals, festivals, and church gatherings, blending tradition with style and comfort. At Accra's Rollins Park, Samuel Opong, owner of coffee shop, has built a thriving business around the art of Ahenema making, combining leather, rubber, and dedication. The creation of each ahenema pair begins with humble materials, discarded ties, nails, pins, paint, leather, and gold chains. The ties are carefully cut to form the soles, while leather is shaped into straps. Paint adds vibrant hues, and gold chains bring a touch of luxury. With precision and skill, artisans use paper patterns, measuring chains, and hammers to craft a masterpiece that blends strength with style. Every item on the workbench tells a story and serves a purpose. Ahenema represents more than just aesthetics. It embodies respect, identity, and continuity. For the Akan, Ga, and Ewe ethnic groups, this traditional footwear symbolizes the connection between royalty and citizens. Wearing ahenema during sacred moments is a mark of honor and a tribute to ancestral heritage. For many artisans, ahenema making is a lifelong journey that begins in childhood. Angelo Frimpong Owusu, one of Samuel's skilled workers, started crafting ahenema at just 8 years old, testament to the passing down of traditions through generations.
We started when I was, I think, 8 years. 8 years. And that time, now I did job for my bro, Kakan Kakra Sana. Yeah, if it's Mukola Bim de me, into as a meaning Kakrano, me bedro, Jumano, and I'm Dini, yeah, and I'm David School. You switch me. Yeah, can't a mamre near mania. What's me in my free? What I say, what's me Frank to ma, and I said to me Frank and tea. I will shake and boo, Darby, shine in ma. It's in my dear important, you can't traditionally Tifonia mana. A D akutini plant in my dear, so special. A tin on fa or Mukoma dear new winning now. Your kind of man is so special. I win air tie. It's time or your pattern. I hear you say near trap. It turn around and near painting a paint and a woman. Yeah, it's in my dear. See, and I walk bona. Bona no so enini and you use 2 materials near the asiano. Oh, I send a dear bag, beg I send a nibini, and I have forming see. And also to waste material pins in the season. Yeah.
At Makola Market, ahenema slippers now stand alongside sneakers and high heels, a testament to the enduring appeal. Modern designers are reimagining the classic footwear in vibrant fabrics and synthetic leather, often adorned with gold trims or beads. Artisan Mills Ebolate is passionate about promoting Ghana-made slippers and sandals, believing ahenema surpasses foreign products in both beauty and durability.
Ahenema no mpobwa ewa hoɔden. Enti sɛ yanum fo die abaya o share na ade cha na ase. Ahenema no sɛ otɔ na ohwɛ su ya ebetumi di 10 years. Ema ebia obampo etumi aba abɛhye. Nti mpobwa papa na me encourage obia se o Ghana. And as someone more going to say, Yento made in Ghana, Niama, teaching ahenema ne the account. bibia a ye Ghana niema bia no yen to because e wa hoden e papa chen amano ne de no.
Fashion designers in Ghana have seamlessly integrated ahenema into modern wardrobes, pairing it with suits, kente, kaba, and slit, or even jeans. This royal slipper has transcended borders, gracing international runways and becoming a badge of pride for diaspora communities. At the vibrant Makola market, creativity and curiosity converge at Napong Ahenema King Enterprise. Emmanuel Opong, the innovative owner, is a self-taught artisan whose fascination with ahenema drove him to master the craft.
Me say nipa no ye eduma no na me so fiti won mu na me so me hye ase say me so me ye bi isi ahema ne de obia ti me hye say yes ye hye Ghana made in Ghana goods ti ahema no say o ware o ye program bibia o ye bia no ye hye ahema no ye made in Ghana goods say ye hye na ti mi etumpon ti bibia akola opani o bet ye wo types bi won so no so purposely for info because ebia ni din time for no kura na nya ebia keke no mo hye obia ni de o hye was edin bia ni ohini bia ni na club a then nya ohini bia say obia ni de o hye nti na e wo normal one so a na obia ti mi hye be wo nyo ebi wo so de info na e hye what normal person oba kura na de chewa say that tie no wo ka so on hye and the people say for info.
Emmanuel's shop is a one-stop production house where every step of the ahenema making process unfolds under one roof. Guided by his precision and his team's youthful energy, every detail matters.
Say, Ebano, ahenema na, say a shas say a bear. You didn't can yet top, over market ledano. Say na meche, market ledano the card no, atum, 2 year top na. I feel so I see no so you be market. You market bona, you bona ne one man's rubber. You market bona na near the you trouble and you are near trust here so near can glue near the so atale. Till you are a bepa, a pay will be why a castle a friend lacquer and the bema designs na be ye till ye the lacquer and also castle fear as near affects near the dadua as a abobom na you wait ya hinmano. The process one after the other.
The craft relies on humble yet powerful tools, old ties for durable soles, leather for straps and uppers, nails and pins for binding, paint and glue for finishing, chains for measuring paper cards, for patterns and hammers, knives and polish for strength and beauty. These materials weave a narrative of Ghanaian creativity, resilience, and pride embodied in every pair of ahenema slippers.
Materials ni bi ne we bona the making say na asan be kan grow near that better totally we are benya ni say yeah to nya ni say ni we are the tops ni so so na abe say bi ni tops ni so bi ni na ya na ye wa ase Ghana made slippers na so ye ni na so ha bisude the designs the different oh we I for na she yeah I for na she we acha me from pabo ni bi na we so fashion we programs na normally and new types na ban bi ni types enti and pabo so na make the oba de na oba ma de ti bi say oba de top ni swa difference na e wo mu no but oba de top ni swa kakra ambema de na ayekese nti wo hwe de wo so ni na we eso we say swa mu se mpabo anso we say so eswa kakra ti difference e wo mu no e oba de na oba ma de na e wo nkola so de ti we de we ye de bo life no o ye programs o ko baby asori occasion baby out me e she de ko skesika we good the types no your back no so your jinga me in class there will be different types. And do design back now also who need design buy even more design come design be I from normally from head to toe.
At Napon Ahenema, apprentices see more than just a craft. They see a pathway to a secure future.
I would tell them that they should involve themselves in handmade jobs here, because getting your own hand job is very nice, because you can go to school and complete school without not getting any job. So this one, I think it gives you money, and this one you can own yourself. Yeah, you can make it your own, get your own money.
For many of these young artisans, Ahenema making is more than tradition, it's a path to independence. One of them, Musa Abbas, draws attention to all that Ahenema transcends tribes.
Ahenema je tribi pe no gamele wo tradition e fian oni e fian je tribi pe na fian make amewu ona tumo ekotumo neke ene sebe mo fe wonye wo akeya yala engagement egbepo anya ketu from wo na ebu o iban tumo efu ya faban no ko efi.
Ahenema has become part of every Ghanaian celebration, from weddings and festivals to funerals and church services. It is a living emblem of identity, walking through time, carrying the grace of Ghana's culture on every foot. As the sun sets over Rollins Park, the day's work winds down, but the heartbeat of tradition continues, one hammer tap at a time. Samuel Opon said, "This work feeds us, but it also keeps our culture alive." From the majestic palaces of old to the vibrant streets of Accra today, the Ahenema Sleeper embodies a powerful narrative of resilience, craftsmanship, and pride. Once a treasured secret of royalty, it has evolved into a national icon, reminding Ghanaians that heritage is best carried forward step by step, with every stride telling a story of tradition, culture, and identity. Perched on the banks of the Otu River, Dambai is a vibrant town that embodies the perfect blend of serenity and dynamism. As the capital of Ghana's Otu region, this bustling hub is a crucial link between the country's northern and southern corridors. Since its elevation to regional capital in 2019, Dambai has emerged as a thriving center of commerce, culture, and connection. Yet, the Dambai ferry site, a vital gateway and gathering point, tells a different story. While the ferry service offers breathtaking views of lush greenery and shimmery waters, the reality of commuting across the river is a gamble with safety. Overloaded canoes, absent life jackets, and lax inspections have turned this essential passage into a hazardous journey, with recurring boat accidents underscoring the urgent need for reform.
Though one would say that using the ferry you may be delayed at some point, but I think if you want to be safer, because recently we were all aware that there was a boat accident at Okuma where about 15 or so lost their lives. And I think that using the boat, you are at a danger side.
Meant to bridge communities, the ferry service has become a bottleneck of frustration. With only one operational ferry, hundreds of commuters, pragia and motor riders, traders and transport operators endure lengthy waits, often spending the entire day queuing to cross.
Sometimes you sɛ baako ba se a ɛyɛ sɛ baako bɛgyina but ɛyɛ baako pɛ na ɛyɛ adwuma nti baako bɛba ebia ɔsɛe po a aha na ɛbɛda sɛ ɛyɛ 1 month aha na ɛbɛda.
The absence of a functional second ferry, once a vital relief valve, has crippled the system, leaving everyone at the mercy of a single, slow-moving vessel. For those unwilling to wait, the only option is to board small canoes or local boats, many without life jackets or safety supervision. It's a risky choice that has in past years led to tragic accidents on the river.
Life jacket into the idea here, and our moon we are used to the river. And even though it's dangerous, but what I say, Yani, yeah, you might 24/70 and shed and fun is serious. Say, be a bit my baby, and I say, and yeah, she.
According to the Ghana Maritime Authority and the Auditor General's 2023 performance audit, a disturbing trend persists. 23 inland watercraft accidents occurred between 2019 and 2023, claiming 34 lives. The devastating incident on October 11, 2025 near Ketekrachi, which resulted in the loss of 15 lives, including 11 children aged 2 to 14, is a heartbreaking reminder of the risk. Overloading and lax safety measures continue to plague Ghana's waterways, underscoring the need for urgent action. Oti Regional Minister Mr. John Kwejo Jepon pointed out that most of the accidents recorded on the Volta Lake are preventable, noting that many boats are not regularly inspected and passengers often travel without life jackets.
It is not about the life jacket alone, even though it is very, very important. There are other things. If there was an enforcement agent there, like you used to say, hey, this boat you can't take more than 10, so you will be saving a situation. Basically, most of them know how to swim. You can't be on the island without knowing how to swim. So psychologically, they think of whether I have life jacket or not. You know, when anything happens, I should be able to swim, and it is not true.
Since its designation as regional capital in 2019, Dambai has experienced rapid population growth and economic activity. However, infrastructure development has failed to keep pace. For decades, the call for a bridge over the Oti River has been echoed, with successive governments making promises that remain unfulfilled.
The fourth quarter of this year, construction of the bridge over Oti region will have begun.
And these are the construction of the Dambai Bridge over the Oti River. I can assure you that this bridge will commence this year.
The long overdue project is a testament to the city's stored potential. For thousands of commuters, the Dambai ferry site has become a scene of daily frustration. Endless queues of trucks, buses and private cars inch along, waiting hours to cross the river. And when the ferry breaks down or water levels plummet, the entire transport system grinds to a halt. Lives are disrupted, livelihoods are threatened, and the wait for a solution grows longer with each passing day. Michael, a truck driver who frequently uses the ferry, lamented the situation.
Yeah, free soldier, you could live in soldier, at your coin crying. Sabayre Nina, Hona Yegosa, at your coin crying. Anka Bridge Waha, Yenina, Yent me Babajina Hasi, government in Embrabe Ye Bridge Mai. Now Muslim Penny4, no more coin, no more Ye Bridge Mai, Yebre.
Sir Amankwa Kennedy, an indigene of Ketekrachi and member of the Krachi Council, describes the situation vividly.
We've been promised previously that the bridge was going to be constructed, but unfortunately, that dream could not come to reality, or that promise was not fulfilled. And so we are expecting that this current government would ensure that the construction of bridge will be done. Some have always mentioned and said that, or of the opinion that when a bridge is constructed on the lake or the river, people's livelihoods are going to be truncated. I don't subscribe to that. I think we have all seen that there is a bridge at Impoku And vehicles are just moving all over, and I think that tolls are being collected, and people have also been employed to do that job as well.
John Beje and Asekre